you go. There we are. I am here. I am here. Good day. Hey, Linda. How you doing? Okay, so today I just want to get some work done on my ugly quilt. But I'm still working. I'm working through a bunch of extra fabrics that are. This came in the D-stash that I got. So I'm going to try and use some of that for backing today. I still got a couple of, well, this one here's fine. Actually, this one here is the exact same backing, so that one's fine. But I think, I did like 4, I've got like 4 of these. So I think I'm going to skip these 2 for now. I'll do them up later, but I'm going to skip these 2 for now because I've already got a bunch of it. So that way, here's my plan. I'm just getting right into it because I just want to get a bunch of this done. That's 1 inch and 1 inch. I'm wanting to work with some of this stuff today and get it done. I'll use this eventually because when I start piecing all this stuff out, there's going to be gaps and little holes. Well, hello there, Jenny Soros. But there's going to be gaps and holes. I showed you how I did that. So I can save this for those little teeny tiny pieces that I need to fill in gaps and holes. So I'm going to save those. I gotta create a spot for these partly finished ones. I really do. I need a spot for the partly finished ones so that I can not screw them up. There was some stripy stuff that was in there, so I sewed a bunch of it together like narrow pieces. Sewed them together with some black I already had. So I'm doing the lazy right now because these are going to be mixed and matched all over the place, right? But if I've got 1 inch and 1 inch, then I can just pre-plan. I can just pre-plan and do a bunch in the same background. And what color have I got in there? I'm almost out of that. Let me see where my I used to keep my threads all in here and I don't do that anymore. Let me see what I've got. Tables. That table's got a bunch of pretty colors. Yeah, I'm kind of like futzing. I'm futzing through some of the from that D-stash that I got. I'm futzing through some of the colors that I really like to make sure I get some of them used up. Okay, and I got to remember where I put my thread. Of course. I can use that one. No, I don't want to use that one. I don't think I have this one. This is just this is all my, I've got black, I've got my basic colors in one bin, then I've got these guys, but I need to match, I'm almost overdue. This is color number 610, this is 227, they're not too far off. Okay, they're far off, but are they going to matter? Don't forget, quilt as you go, so I actually have to match it to whatever the backing is going to be. And I don't think it's going to be, it'll be visible, but this is all I've got left of this one. So I need a trip to the fabric store to get some more thread. My local store every time. Oh wait. When's the next holiday coming up? Of course I missed the holiday. My favorite store. Oh wait, that one might work and that one might work. Okay. Oh my God, this one here, maybe I should just use this one, get some of it used up. No, that looks bright. It looks, yeah, I don't know if Valentine's is a, well, every time there's a long weekend, my fabric store puts their notions, including thread, on sale for half price. $227, $220. I've already got $227 up there. I've got tons of, wait a second, which one's this? Yeah, I got tons of this one. This is a nice in-between color. I am setting aside all my pink for a pink. Okay, so that one I've got this one I'll save for emergencies for now. All right. Nope, it's not, nothing in there. Okay. Well, I'm gonna stay with the I'm gonna stay with the theme that this is supposed to be as clash. Okay. I'm gonna stick with the theme that clashing is allowed and encouraged. So I'm gonna do that. I am gonna take this one off. I'll save the little bit that's left. I'll save the little bit that's left is good for doing a 1 or 2 of something. So I'll save that. I just got a little knot from where that fell. I'll save what's left of this just on the off chance that I need to conserve it for something in case a different project comes up. This project is all about the clashing, so we don't care. But if I end up getting a request for a bag or something, I'm not going to want. I'm going to want the closest possible match. Okay, where's the other one? There it is. You guys seen my thread wall? There's my thread wall. Doesn't look like much. But I try and get. I know, like the hardcore professional operations have. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Dry my hands are. Come on. You can do it. Come on. Or not. Stupid camera. Let's get up here. All right. You gonna stay? Sorry, guys. Problem is I need a new camera. I don't know if I need a new camera, but I'm certainly too cheap to get a new camera. So we'll have to see how that goes. I don't think I need a super schmancy camera. I just need one that focuses more quickly, so it will actually stay focused. But anyway. I'm just threading my machine. There we go. Okay. See, I'll show you now that it's done. I just got the new. And that says fuck them, just so you know. Anyway, let's get that one out of the way. Is that one? Here's that one. Ooh, this smaller one here is actually a slightly. Nah, I'm just going to use this one. I need it to be. I still have to get the. I still have to put the batting, but I haven't. I'd still have to do the batting, which is fine. That one's done. I'm just going to be doing the thing, and the camera should be here. Let me put it there. Let me put the camera where we don't need it. That's a little bit better. Don't forget, this is all scrap. So if I end up having a little wastage, that's fine, which is why I can be a lot more careless in how I cut it. Yeah, well, you know what it is? There's IKEA has these cute little pegboards. So I got the cute little pegboards from IKEA and then just put them on the wall because it's not holding a lot. This is not some big major tool rack. It's not holding a ton of weight. So the cheapos, the cheap little plasticky ones from IKEA, they look a lot nicer. They just look a lot nicer. I've got a big, that's the big one, and then you can see the line right there. So then that's the narrow one, and they just sit side by side. But there's only actually 2 screws on the top of each one. The rest is all free hanging, so it doesn't take up. I don't know why, but I think that effect where it just goes, screenception. I think that's really cool. But yeah, so this actually works out really well. And what I did, this is the regular stuff that comes from IKEA, but it turns out that there are people making. I got these, and these are spool holders. I got those, and there's some. I got a few that are just. I also got a few that are just a single plastic spool holder. So yeah, so I got. Maybe I don't have it. Oh, there they are. And then I got some of these so that they can just go in. They just go into whatever little gaps as needed. If I need them, I put a couple up. If I don't need them, I put a couple down. But those came from Etsy. So it turns out that if you have space for one of these little, if you have things that's like, oh, I'd love to hang up blah, as long as it's not super heavy. Like I said, this is only screwed in. It's screwed in at the top. It's screwed in at the top. I think there's 2. I think there might be 3 screws on the big one, 2 on the small one. It's screwed in at the top, and all it's got on the bottom is a couple of little feet to push it away from the wall. But then all this custom stuff, all this stuff, it wasn't super expensive. It wasn't super. Well, it was about, I don't know, $20, $30 for all the little hooks and pegs that. But a lot, but all the half of what's up there came from IKEA, and the rest came from Etsy. Anyway, but yeah, no, it works out really well. And like I said, the narrow one's only about like 12 inches, 14 inches, something like that. It's not that bad. Okay, let's see. I told you guys I'm mixing and matching, right? For the batting. Because I want the mix and match effect, I might as well mix and match the batting to go with it. Get up. Get on that one. These ones are too small, so they're gonna go. They're still gonna go, but they're gonna go for something that's a better size. I'm just checking my pile here. This one's kind of big. It's not too big. I want to save it in case a bigger patch comes up that I can be working on. Oh, there we go. These are some that I already cut into the 10 inch by 10 inch. So this guy can go there. Again, even the batting is left over from other projects. So this is not, that goes there. Let's cut them. That's not properly ironed. I'll be right back. Yeah, this is a great way to use up batting. Just gets it all sorted out. Sit down for a minute, get back up for a minute. No, Linda can tell you when you make a quilt, you might have a thing that's like 72 by 72 inches, right? Yes. So you have to be aware of what batting you're using. This one here has to have stitching at least every 10 inches. So I'm going to iron that. I'm going to put it on here. Now I'm going to put 1 or 2 lines in to hold it down, and that'll get sewn properly. This one here, I could put this one here on it and not do anything because it's not 10 inches in either direction. And some battings, if you go into a fabric store, you'll see some of them will say 4x4, some even say 2x2. That if you're not, that'll just break down, right? But no, this one's. Let me see. Now this is diaper flannel. That's not big enough. This is diaper flannel. No, this one here. This one here is going to go right there. There. Because this won't need stitching at all. That goes with that one. Oh my God, I'm already confused. See, this is why I only do 2 or 3 at a time, because I'm already confusing myself. So this one here, I can do. I've got like another 7 or 8 of these patches left. So I'm just gonna do this one, then I'll move them over. Anyway. I don't really care about the size, but it does. And this is 7.5 by 7. I'm just going to do it. I don't really care how big it is. I don't care if it's perfectly square. I just have to care that it's, because even this piece that's left over, if I have to do like a 1 inch by 1 inch. But yeah, I'm gonna put a quick couple of stitches down the center or something because I should, not because I have to on this particular one. Yeah, 7.5, 7.25 by 7.5. Anyway. There we go. That one's there. See, I get futzing. Can go there. I went over and I turned, whoops, let's put that away so I don't accidentally end the stream. Just my mouse, getting my mouse out of the way. Okay. Now I can put it on here and then stitch it. I can put it on here and then stitch through everything, or I can leave it off. I could stitch it to this and then just put it together, but I'm going to stitch it all together because I don't care. Anyway, so what's new with you guys? What's new and exciting? That is one thing about these. I've been doing everything at about 1 inch, but the reality is that I could be doing these whatever size works. I don't have to agonize about getting it perfect. I'm just stitching. I'm just stitching in the ditch where the blues meet. I still have plans, by the way, for doing a few schmancy blocks. I've just got a lot of scrap to work through, and I want to make sure that I get as much of that into the picture as well, so I'm not wasting it. There we go. Yeah, always check the rating. Always check the rating on the batting if you're going to use batting. And if you're not sure, just use diaper flannel. This because diaper flannel needs no quilting, and neither does this stuff. Although I still try to do it a little bit on this stuff because you just never know if it's going to slump. I just don't trust it. So if it's less than 1 inch, that's fine. As long as it's wide, as long as I can tell that it's wide enough for me to use, then it can be less than 1 inch. As long as it's within my comfort zone. Some people only do like 1/2 inch, but I find that if you make it too narrow, because you need to give yourself way over there off to the side where it's not helpful, or maybe it's helpful. I don't know. If you don't give enough of a seam allowance, then you could be sewing too close to this edge, and then it just pulls out. Anyway, yeah. So I had adventure times yesterday of the I'm gonna sleep all fucking day kind. Go to bed last night, not last night, night before. Went to bed. Fine, people sleep. It's what you do. You go to bed. Oh, these are different. These blues are different. I didn't realize. I wasn't paying attention. This is from a pattern. I think this was from a pattern called denim, and then this is a different type. One's straight. This is all straight lines, and this is all. I don't care. Clashing is encouraged, or you kind of end up making yourself a little bit crazy trying to make an ugly quilt work. No matter what kind of ugly quilt you're going for. Because I've done okay. Ugly quilting being its own thing. Like you just take leftover scraps, make squares, make a quilt. If you commit to clashing, then you are getting exactly what you expect. No surprises, no hardship, no problems. Anyway, yeah. So Sunday night I go to bed. Boom, and the insomnia monster hits. Right? It's like, yeah. Well, because you know what? When you make something intentionally, right? Then the worst thing that can happen is the sizing looks a little funny. Other than that, the coloring, nobody's ever going to come back and say, "Oh my God, your colors clash," because you're going to look at them and you're going to go, Anyway, so I go to bed, insomnia. It's like, well, shit, that sucks. So it's 4:00 in the morning, and I'm finally getting to sleep. That's fine. I get to sleep. 6:00, 6:30. I'm not sure when. Boom. Wide awake. Like, I mean, I almost wide awake, hour and a half. So I've got like 3 hours sleep. I'm pretty sure we kind of did the check-in, and as far as I kind of can tell, I think I heard Lisa leave this morning. I mean, not this morning, yesterday morning, and Lisa leaves at about 10 to 8. So it's like, lovely. So, yeah. So I end up with severe insomnia and then get about 2, maybe 3 hours sleep. Boom, I'm wide awake again and can't get back to sleep. So, yeah, I went and had a big long nap yesterday. Feel great today. It's kind of that thing. It's like when you're living a life, I mean, I've got it pretty damn good, right? So it's like, yeah, this was really shitty, so I'm going to go back to bed. And I did, and I could, and it was great, and it was fine. But man, oh man, that was fucking annoying. By the way, I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm doing what's called a mitered corner here. So yeah, it was it was totally obnoxious because of course 9:00 I have to get up with the dogs. I'm doing what's called a mitered corner. So I'm like tucking this in at an angle, at a 45-degree angle, and doing my best to make sure it's nice and tight and whatever. And then I'm folding up my corner, because then it comes in, and it's called a mitered corner, where it points back towards the angle. And you can do it on the fly just by stopping a little bit soon. You got to kind of watch it and make sure it's going properly under the needle. And then this one here, this end is a bit of a pain. The last end is a bit of a pain because you got to fold it in advance. It's easier. It's actually, mitered corners are actually easier on, for me, they're easier on smaller places. Yeah, honestly, I don't know how to describe it. I mean, it definitely feels like crap when you are like, I really want to get a good night's sleep tonight, and then you're like wide awake going, why the hell am I not getting a good night's sleep? But I'm also, I've had chronic insomnia this bad since I was like a teenager, or for as long as I can remember. So I am kind of used to it. I will say this, and you always, and I always try to, I don't know if calling it comparing is the right way to express it, but I always try to like think about it at least. And remember, I remind myself back when it was like, when I would get insomnia like this and then have to go work in a factory. Go work in the factory where if you are distracted or sleepy, you could lose. I never worked on anything super intense, but I did almost put a rivet through the back of my hand once. So there's that. But yeah, so this is mitered corners, so they go up at a bit of an angle. I can come back and sew right along that to seal it down, but I'm going to be like zigzag, 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 zigzag. When I attach this to everything else, I'm going to be zigzagging it all down from this end anyway. So that little tiny pocket, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to make a difference. But if you're doing like, say I'm doing this as a coaster or a coaster or a pot holder or something like that, then you may want to come down here and just like you stitch that down here. You might want to come along here and just give that a couple of little stitches to make sure it's not going to shift or let so you might want to give it a couple of stitches to make sure it's not going to shift and let crud get into that little tiny pocket. But that pocket you can ignore it. So there's good luck there. Back in the day, I worked at a factory, and I gotta go get that thing. You get that. You have to wait. There we go. Back in the day, I worked at a factory making rabbit ear antennas for TV antennas. And one of the things that making these things starts off with a big long aluminum pipe, right? And they put it into a machine that pre-punches the holes. It's all quite interesting in a it's whatever. And so the one day I'm on the machine, I got those at like an end cap at a grocery store of all places. I'm like, these are I had regular slippers, but because of the bottoms on them, I was like staticking everything. But yes, I'm working at a factory, minding my own business. I'm just taking an it's for TV antennas. So I'm taking an aluminum pipe with pre-punched holes. You pick up the pipe, there's a pin, right? There's a pin that sticks up. It's got pre-punched holes. So you pick up the pipe, put your hole over top of the pin, press the little button, and boom, a rivet comes down and goes into the pipe. Well, I just got on autopilot one day. So everything's here, right? Everything's here, the pin is here. So you pick up your pipe, you go, put it down, stop the thing. Put it down, stop the thing. Then one day I got distracted and went like that. Caught myself just in time. Like, I mean, I triggered the machine. I triggered the machine and then pulled. As I triggered the machine, it's like, trigger shit, and got my hand out of the way just in time. So that was fun. That was the not kind. That's my other ruler. There's my other ruler. That was. And the funny thing is, it's ironically weird how the world works, because that was one of the most fun jobs I ever. Because back where I come from, it was all factories and shit, right? In terms of factory work, I probably would have stayed there forever, but it was only a temporary. Nobody puts this is rabbit ear antennas. That tells you how long ago that was. Nobody puts that stuff up on their roofs in the middle of winter, so they brought in summertime help, but it was mostly a part-time position. So I just couldn't. I worked there for the one summer, and by the next summer, I just still was. I had a job or two by then, but by the next summer, I was out of work again. So when they called me back, I went back. But yeah. Where did I put it? I put something down and now I can't find. There it is. So no, that's not it. That's that one. That's that one. Oh, it must be that one. Or I didn't make it one. I don't know. I've got the tiniest bit of black. It's the joy of factory work, right? It is the joy of factory work. I worked at another factory. It didn't happen to me. It happened to somebody else. It's called on what's called a rotary. So You're standing here with your parts and you're waiting, and the machine comes past you. It was wiring, putting together the wiring harnesses for a car. You're sitting there, the machine comes past you, and then you just plug in all the wires that you're plug in all the each person is responsible for a certain number of wires, and then it goes that way. It's quicker, it's much more efficient, it's whatever. Hey, is that bad lighting, or is my shirt got a stain? I think my shirt has a stain. I think I don't care, but I think my shirt has a stain. Anyway, and I'm just going to cut this one to actual size. And one day, of course, when that is how the job runs, their priority is to keep that. It's called a rotary, right? Priority is to keep the rotary going at all times. This one girl was working at the end of the rotary with these. Okay, each thing is called a jig. So, one set of wires for one car is on one jig, and they're long. They're like 15 feet long, right? They're huge. One girl stepped forward funny. I don't know what she did. Probably just tired, and got stuck. The jig comes out and it's partially hanging off the end, and then it swings around, and she got into that V. And so, yeah, she almost got crushed by the rotary. That was fun. What was even more fun was because the boss was at the other end. Yeah, thank you. I had good reflexes back then. Now, I don't know what happened. I've got this little shred of black down here. I left it because it doesn't really matter, because it's not going to show up anyway when I get this on it. But it gives me that little extra quarter of an inch to make it just a little tiny bit bigger. Anyway, yeah, so the boss is down, the foreman is down at the other end. He's like, "What's going on? Turn it back on." So they turned it back on. So luckily, me and a couple of the other girls happened to have really loud voices. I've got a really loud voice. And we just started screaming, "Turn it off right now!" So they turned it off, but yeah, it's like, because in an emergency situation, and I'm not blaming anything on anybody, in an emergency situation, people do fight, flee, fawn. But in an emergency situation, the majority of people are going to go, "I don't know what to do." So me and a couple other girls were screaming bloody murder, and everybody else is just standing there shocked and not knowing how to react. So it's like, oh, thank God that me and a couple of the more reactive girls were there at the time. Yeah, fun times. But it's one of those things. That's what and it's not like factories or death traps. It's like, this is what a loud environment can do, especially if that loud environment. I never did get that to push out properly. I ironed it and pushed it out, and it just popped. It must be I'll fix it. Don't you worry, I can fix it. Yeah, accidents happen. And honestly, like I worked there like 3 different times. This particular factory, I worked there like 3 different times. But that's a different factory than the one I almost put the rivet through my hand was a different factory. And like I said, I got distracted. It was my own damn fault. But it was my own damn fault. But it was also a machine. I think so. I think I've got I definitely have good hand-eye coordination. I did a test. You ever heard of Kelly Services? They were a temp agency back in the day. Back in the day, there was a big thing. It happened all over the factory towns. Kelly Services would contract temporary workers to go in and work in factories when things were, because even factories have seasonal demand, right? And I went in to get onto their list the one day, and I went and took one of their tests, and they're like, "Okay, we'll be back in a few minutes." Before, and it's like they gave me this bin. They gave me this bin. It's like bolts on one side, nuts on the other side. And it's like all these holes, right? And it says all you got to do is take the nut and the bolt, put them together. They were a temporary worker. Well, a temporary worker agency that focused mostly on getting work for people in factories, mostly. Anyway, they give me this big board with they give me this big board, and it's like it's got a thing of button, like I said, nuts on one side, bolts on the other. All you gotta do is put the finger tight, is just as tight as your fingers can go. Don't try too hard, right? They said just put all the nuts and bolts on. I think the nuts and bolts were all in one. No, the nuts and bolts were all in one thing, right? And they said I got the fastest score of anybody they'd ever tested, because it was like I would go, get a nut, get a bolt, get a nut, get a bolt. I guess people were going bolt, 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 bolt. Okay. And I don't know what they were doing, but yeah, I come out and I went, I'm done. And they went, oh, no, you have to do all of them. And I'm like, I did. And they're like, what? Worked out well, though, because they were always finding me work. I'm not going to do mitered on this one. I kind of regretted doing mitering on the other one, not because I don't like mitering, but because when I'm distracted, I usually manage to fuck it up. Anyway, yeah. Mind you, when I worked for Kelly Services, though, I was in a town that didn't really have a lot of manufacturing type stuff. So I don't know. I don't care. That was years ago. But anyway, see, I'm trying to miter it because I distracted myself. I guess maybe that can be part of it. I could do that intentionally. Why are some of these corners mitered? Shut up. Just tell them to shut up. Anyway, no, I've heard of much worse. So anyway, that was like, my God, that was 40 years ago. I mean, my God, Jenny, that's longer ago than you've been alive. Just saying, I'm a little bitter now. Now I'm mad at you, Jenny. Yeah, I think I've done a bit of everything. I haven't done brain surgery. That's for next year. But regular office work, a little bit of office management, nothing to really come on, why'd you do that? You're supposed to be over there a little bit. I missed the it ended up going off of the edge here, so I had to back up. Yeah, only by a little bit. But I do think that might be why it's. Like I said, I know I've got really good hand-eye coordination, so that's probably why it's easier and more fun to me to pick up new things even now. It doesn't help. I don't know if it helps or hurts, but I've got an insanely sensitive sense of touch. That's probably why the dry skin bothers me so much. But anyway, I don't know if bothers me is the right word. It seems to be settling down. I'm kind of wondering if the worst of my dry skin issues on my hands was related to menopause more than anything else. Because I never used to have. I've always had a little bit of dry skin issues, but ever since menopause hit, it got really out of hand. My favorite jobs, believe it or not, one of my favorite jobs was working at Harvey's restaurant. I like being around people. So, and I was the assistant night manager at a Harvey's restaurant, and this was back in the day, right? Somebody comes in being an asshat, and if somebody comes in being an asshat, everybody is nice to you. If somebody's coming in being an asshat, other customers would help you out, right? So there wasn't a lot there. Next one done. There wasn't, but yeah, I really liked that job because I was in charge, which helps your sense of personal security when you're the one in charge. It just does. It's not about being a control freak. It's about your personal sense of security, right? So I was night manager at a Harvey's, which meant that if, I got a lot more security in being able to tell a problematic customer to get out. It's weird because when you're working in a customer service situation, you have to be able to stand up for yourself, and customer service jobs don't let you do that anymore. But yeah, night manager at a Harvey's was a lot of fun because it was the time of day when it's not nearly as busy. Like, you go in, everybody's coming in for dinner. And don't forget, I was like in my 20s. This was a long time ago. So, but yeah, I liked being around people. So you get your dinner time rush of people coming in, and then when that's gone, all your regulars are showing up. You start getting to know some of them by name. Like we used to have a bunch of older guys that would come in. And yeah, it was great. They were really nice guys, treated me with respect, and never had a problem when they were in. Oh, that's the one I want. So but yeah, I actually like customers. I loved customer service work in general, as long as I had some autonomy. Second favorite, a job that I really liked, and you're going to think this is nuts. I loved working at Walmart because I don't know how to describe this, but Walmart might have a particular reputation as a chain, but each store has its own particular culture, flavor, whatever, right? And they really liked me. As a matter of fact, I found out after I got hired that they had really wished, once I started working there, and they're like, yeah, I worked a couple of shifts with you, and I really wish you'd have applied as a manager. But then we moved back to this area, and I had to give up the job. But yeah, I like doing new things. Okay, I do not have to quilt this, so I'm not going to throw a pin and keep it from moving. But no, I like working with people. I like customer facing roles, and I like working with people. So it's always been the culture of the place I'm working that determines whether I like it or not. When I was at Walmart, I got along with everybody, and all the managers liked me. And I was not a dick about it. Everybody liked me, and it worked out really well. And yeah, honestly, I'll tell you right now, if we just stayed back in Maple Ridge, I probably would have stayed there for the long term. But yeah, I got the shifts I wanted when I wanted them. I personally had a good reputation, so they treated me very well. We had one manager. I got one manager. If I had ended up staying, the one manager would have ended up getting fired, and it would have been almost entirely because of me. So, and they still love me. Had a really fucked up situation. This may not sound like much. Or maybe you've heard, maybe this is something that resonates. I got the job at Walmart. And the one manager had transferred over from a different location. And which is fine. That's what happens. They opened a brand new store. So everybody was new. And that's kind of one of the reasons why they liked me, is because I wasn't intimidated by everything being new. They had lots of nice things to say about me. If I'd have managed to stay in touch, that was like over 10 years ago. If I'd have managed to stay in touch with any of those guys, I could probably get a job at any Walmart that I want. But if they're hired, when I don't want, it's all about where you are. It's all about the dynamics of your particular location. Anyway, the one manager, when you're a cashier, there's a process for cashing. There's a process for cashing out at the end of the night. And you have to do certain things. It's not rocket science. It's not that hard, right? But there is a process, and you have to follow it. And this is a big, giant company taking in thousands upon thousands of dollars in business every day. you don't get to fuck that up. Right? Like you just don't get to fuck that up. So they have training on it. I'm making it super dramatic to have a longer story to tell. Anyway, so I'm working a closing shift, which means that somebody's got to cash me out because I haven't been trained on it yet. Now, I've worked cashier work before, lots of cashier work. I'm really good with handling money, but it's like, dude, I don't know your particular process yet because nobody's walked me through it. Manager walks up and goes, okay, go ahead and cash out. And I said, okay, well, I'll punch out, but you're going to have to, I said, oh, you're going to have to cash me out because I'm not trained yet. He's going, no, you just do it. And I'm like, no, I do not. Right. This goes back and forth. And I'm like, buddy, I'm not trained. I said, I have not been trained on this. So I said, I'll do it. If you need to, I said, what did I say? I forget what I said. This is 10 years ago now. Right. I said, I'm happy to do it, but you have to stay. You can't walk. You can't just tell me to do it and walk off. I have not been trained. Said it over and over and over and over again. So he just said, just do it. And he walks away. Well, I lived a 5-minute walk from the location. This is relevant because I did it. I counted out the same value of float. Yeah, it makes a big difference. It's fucking crazy the difference it makes. I'm actually going to change my mind and put a quick stitch right across this center here. As long as you don't have any pleating happening, you can put your stitches in later. Little back stitch though. Anyway, so the guy's like, just do it. Just do it. Walks away. I'm like, oh, you can't do that. This is money. This is real money. This is you literally left me with a bucket of money and told me to figure it out with no help and no training and no nothing. And there is a process. Okay. Like I said, there's a clear reason for okay, if you're just working at a mom and pop store and you go, oh, I wasn't sure what you needed me to do, so this is what I did, right? But that cash person is coming in the morning and going to be dealing with $30,000 to $40,000 in cash. If she sees that my drawer is all fucked up, she's not going to go, oh, Peggy must have had something going on. She's going to go, what the fuck's wrong here, right? So I did it. I cashed out. And then I got up the next morning and I walked my ass to the store and I went, I need to talk to the manager. And I said, this is what happened. You can check your cameras. I wasn't a dick to anybody. I wasn't a dick to anybody. I wasn't a dick to anybody about anything because that's nobody. It's nobody else's problem because I had a very interesting talk with the manager because they couldn't stand him because he'd been doing this to everybody. So I want to make a formal complaint about this incident because I've done cash before. This is why they liked me, right? So I've done cash before. So I was happy to, I said, he came over and told me to do it. I told him, sure, but you can't, sure, as long as you stick around to help me with that because I haven't been trained. Told them the story and they're like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm like, I am not kidding you. And as a matter of fact, if at all possible, I do not want to ever be put on a shift with him again. But here's where the story gets a little better. And I'm a complete fucking bitch. And I love myself for it. But anyway, this was a brand new store. So what they do, yeah, my job along with good supervisor, but yeah, it's important to me what my team is like. Abso-fucking-lutely. It turns out that it seems to everybody involved like this guy transferred stores so that he wouldn't get fired at his old store. So that's a thing. I'm going to go all the way through all the layers, but I'm going to do a crisscross. Anyway, the store that I worked at was a brand new store just being opened. So this is important because what they did, what Walmart's policy is, which was kind of cool. When they're opening a brand new store for the first time, they do their hiring early, and then as all the and now you can opt in or opt out of this. You don't have to do it. It's not like, oh, if you don't agree to this, you don't get the job. I should have done this first and then cut all the other stuff. but that's okay. It's a small enough piece that if anything shifts, I don't have to care. Anyway, so what they do is if you opt in to work during the 6-week store prep before the grand opening, then obviously you cannot work in a construction zone without work boots. So they give you a coupon. They give you a voucher. Take this voucher to the nearest Walmart. Get yourself a pair of work boots within this price range. Present the coupon. Take your boots, and we'll see you on your first scheduled shift. So I go and do that. Guess this is before. This was before. This was like what? Almost 3 months before. I say, hey, I've got the coupon. I need to get my free boots. And the cashier says, okay, I need to double check with the manager, blah, blah, blah. Right? So she goes and gets the manager. It's this guy. Now, I have no idea at this point what the future holds, okay? Because the story's kind of working its way out. So it's kind of sorting itself out. I'm kind of telling it in reverse. Anyway, this guy comes up and says, we don't accept those. I went, oh, yes, you do, because I said, yes, you do, because we were given these from, and I gave the name of the store. I gave the location number. I said, because so-and-so at this store authorized us, passed these coupon vouchers out in person and told us to go here, here, or here, which includes this store. You guys do accept them. No, we don't. And I'm like, arguing with the guy, and I'm like, yeah, like call the other store, because they already had their phone numbers and stuff, right? I said, this is their number, call them. No. So he flounces. He goes, he basically flounces and goes, you are not getting these boots today, blah, 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 blah. Because turns out he just didn't know how to put it through the system, so he didn't want to do it. That was what I found out later. But I'm standing there. So basically, as I'm in, nobody at the new store knew about my run-in with him at the old store. It just didn't come up, right? You don't want to be the drama monger by going, oh, thank you for giving me this job. Oh, by the way, that guy, I had a problem with him elsewhere. You don't do that, right? So anyway, I'm making a formal complaint about the guy, like going like, it's one thing if he asks me to sweep a floor, but he's asking me to handle cash. And the manager said, like, yeah, we were really confused when we saw that in the morning because we couldn't figure out why you would do that. And I went, well, because I haven't been trained yet, which I'm happy to take the training whenever. But he not only told me to do it, but refused to walk me through it. He told me to do it and he walked away. And of course, in these environments, there's always a camera. I said, you can check the camera. He walked up. I said, you can check the camera. You can check the camera and verify that he walked away before I started counting the cash. And you can check my file and verify that I was never trained to do this. And he flat out refused. Anyway, so I told them the story. So I'll finish the story. Okay. So basically no. And I'm like, I have to start work tomorrow. I'm running out Sunday. I start Monday morning, whatever. It's like, I can't walk out without this or I'm not getting paid. And he's like, yeah, that's too bad. We don't do this. If you want a pair of boots, well, that's what he said. He said, if you want a pair of these boots, you're going to have to buy them now and get a refund, get it and sort it out later at your store. Now, don't forget, I've been hired, but I haven't had my first shift yet. And I'm like, I'm not doing that because I have no idea, because this is not what we were told to do. And I have no idea. Once I pay for that, why would they honor that if I'm already paying for it myself? Because they said, they were very clear. Use this voucher. Don't just go buy yourself some boots. Use this voucher. Go to Walmart. Okay. Anyway, so I, at that location, had to call. It's like, you need to call his manager. So I said, well, can you call your manager and have your manager come down and sort this out? Because my understanding is that you guys were told all about this. He refused to call his manager. He refused to call his boss. The other staff, I was like, well, can you? And they said, we can't. He won't let us. So then I waited. I said, I'm not leaving until this gets sorted out. He flounces off, and one of the staff calls the manager over. Blah, blah. Hey, blah, blah, blah. Can you come over here? And they basically said, like, yeah, we're used to this from him. If he doesn't know how to do something, he just refuses to do it. Gets the manager. So I got the manager over, and I made a complaint about him then, too. I said, look, I've got this voucher, and Asswipe over here is refusing to honor it. and is telling me to pay for these boots out of pocket, and that and deal with it on, that it was my problem, deal with it out of pocket, and that he absolutely flat out refuses. And the guy said, no, that's not what you guys were told to do, because he knew what was going on. So I got my boots. And leveled a complaint about him at that location. And this was like 6 weeks before I got the job, right? So then we get to chatting. So I said, I've already had to make a formal complaint against him elsewhere already. And then I told them about the boot incident. And they went, are you fucking kidding me? And I said, yeah. I said, they don't fire. You know why they don't fire people like this? Because when I was trying to get my work boots, I'm just a customer at that point, right? And they're trying to decide. And again, he put in for a transfer. He transferred out because he knew what the writing on the wall was. But apparently he did get, because they can't tell me this, but I had a lovely little chat with the manager, though, because he said like we were already aware that he was having problems at his old store. So thank you for this. We're going to look into it. He's also going to get a write-up for making you do the cash out. But I also said, like, look, if at all possible, I said because there was already a few other little incidents that I was aware of. So we got to gossiping after that. And I cannot for the life of me. There we go. Another clash. Actually, that one doesn't clash too bad. That one's not bad at all. Anyway, so, and here's the thing. I've been the manager before. So I try to be really respectful and recognize that as a manager, sometimes the manager is dealing with office drama that we know nothing about, and they're just having a bad day. I don't want to be a dick about it, right? But this guy, oh my God, I couldn't stand him. Anyway, so basically we devolved that. So this is when she says, we really wish that you had applied for a management position, because we would have loved to have you, because, I don't think they would have hired me, but that they may have. I don't know. I don't think my resume was strong enough for a management position, but she seemed to think it was. So we started gossiping, and I'm like, look, and I started telling her, yeah, it was a cute little one. So then I said, he's a problem. And as far as I know, there's a couple of girls that have quit because of him. Because here's the thing. If you're everybody else's advocate, then you're the one that ends up with the target on your back. And I've lost jobs for being somebody else's advocate. So makes you a little careful. Oh, I'm trying to figure out what my next one. I've still got these two, but they're in yellow. So I would have to change my, God, I'm lazy. They're in yellow, and I would have to change my cover over. Hey, wait a second. I got some blue over here. Anyway, I will tell you right now, when you reach a certain level of management, you just don't trade. Oh, it's actually a decent sized piece. I wonder if I should cut into it or hang on to it just in case. Don't think it matters. It's pretty full. It's pretty full. Oh, actually, this is even more pretty full. And I wanted to make sure I didn't forget to use this one. I like this one a lot because it looks like it's terror, forgiveness, compassion, intuition, protection, truth. So I don't think I want the word terror in my blanket, but I think I can come down here. Anyway, yeah, so start gossiping a little bit about what some of the other staff had already dealt with, because you couldn't go in and not hear about some other stupid, ignorant thing that he'd done. But, these are all. I don't know. I can't read that one, and I can't read that one. I don't know whether I want to go. I can make it a big one. I don't think I have too many big ones. Anyway, yeah. So they're like, well, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. We're working towards. We already don't like him because of the little shit that we keep hearing about. This is now big shit. But unfortunately, I had to leave the job very shortly after. Nobody's fault. It just didn't work out that way because I literally moved out of town. And I had said, like, unless it's absolutely necessary, I do not want to work in the same shift as him ever again. I said, because this was unacceptable. I'm not, because okay, like when you're dealing with cash and cash goes missing, you could end up having a visit from the police, right? It's like, I am not. I said, I know I'm sounding paranoid. And she said, she goes, you're actually not sounding paranoid. She agreed with me because Walmart, at least in this area, they prefer promoting within. So she's like, no, I used to be a cashier and I know exactly what you mean. Too much, if something happens with the money, then you could be looking at a very serious problem that can fuck you up for a really long time. So she got it. I said, like, I can't trust him to not screw me over. And I'm not interested, so I said, I do not want to work on the same shift as him ever again. And I strongly recommend that you do not put him on with anybody that isn't fully trained. And I don't think they ever did. They were working on getting rid of him. But yeah, some people you just want to hit them with a brick. Why does that seem like it's off center? Oh, it's a little off center, but I don't think I care. Oh, it is off center. It's off center that way. Let me double check. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Here's the thing. When the thing happened with the boots, I had to make a complaint to get the boots because it's like, dude, I'm trying to get a job. I'm trying to get a part-time job at fucking Walmart. Do you think I have the money for a brand new pair of work boots? No. So it's like, yeah, I had to make a complaint. I had to make a complaint to get my boots. But so that was fine. And then once I got to the other store, it's like, okay, I'm letting that go. Okay, and it's not like I recognize the guy immediately. So there's no like, well, maybe it's not him. It's like, oh shit, look, I'm working with Fuckadoodle. Anyway, yeah, and it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna leave that at the door because he's not in charge and blah 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 blah. And then he pulls that like just a few weeks later. Turns out, okay, what they do is they hire you, and like I said, you can opt in or opt out. I opted in, free money. Come on, why not, right? Basically, you're putting together shelving and stuff like that. And it turns out that every day that he was on shift, nobody could fucking find him. He was disappearing. I gotta do a quick little nose blow. I'll be right back. My neighbor is cooking their dinner. Now I want food. Anyway. Trying to decide what I want on the. Ooh, wait. I have to switch my. If that's big enough. That's big enough. I'll have to. I don't know why I tried so hard to get that into position. Okay. I'm not going to get this in. If I try and go through this with my rotary cutter, I'm going to wreck something. Oh, yeah. Turns out, yeah. Like I said, I basically, here's the problem, is that you can still, as an employer, have a really, really, really big problem if you are engaging in wrongful dismissal, even without a union. So I think that's something that keeps a lot of employers from getting rid of people who shouldn't be working for them. I did the thing, and I've got this. It's not quite the right size. Oh, I got the bigger piece. I saved the bigger piece. Actually, I guess I don't gotta. So I have to put that on the. I don't really have to iron it as long as it's flat enough, because it's gonna like do its weird thing. When I oh, perfect. But no, I do not know how. I have nobody. I think he was just sliding under the radar in a lot of ways. But yeah, it's like the general manager, or not the general manager. There's like There's like the general manager of the entire store, and then there's the general manager of your section. But she had some stuff to share, and that was that, oh yeah, we talk about him on the regular, and we're looking for a reason to get rid of him, and this just might do it. Or not. But she was like, just pass the word around that we're trying to pass the word around. You got to do it discreetly, right? Pass the word around that we are very open to getting rid of this guy. We just need people are scared of saying something, so they don't. Because you don't want to rock the boat. You make a complaint about a manager who keeps their job. Because don't forget, you're okay, like Walmart or other retail environments, quite often it's just you and that guy on shift together. Your word against his, right? So a lot of people were afraid of not being believed, of backlash, because again, they promote from within. So it's like, well, dude, he managed to get enough promotions to get this high up in the company. They're not going to believe me. It's like, oh, well, I just found out they will. Go ahead and make the complaint. It's like, so I don't know what happened after that, though, because I had to leave very shortly afterwards, but I would have been a manager at a Walmart, which would have been fine. But I've been a manager, and I've been both a worker and a manager in worse environments, so it's not as bad as it sounds. I did the thing. Well, no, I haven't finished trimming that yet. This is probably, I don't know if it's more than 10 inches or not. It's more than 10 inches this way, so I have to put at least one line in. It's only 9 inches that way, and it doesn't have to be like that. I think I'm just going to do every one this way, and then I'll go just one that way. I don't know. I got to switch out my thread color first. Honestly, and it's a catch-22. Like one thing, this is like the lower, well, no. Okay, here, where I am right now, here is a lot of people. Because I'm in Coquitlam, but Coquitlam then becomes Burnaby, Coquitlam, Burnaby, and then Vancouver, and they're all so close together that there's no real geographical distance. Plus, there's New West. There's I'm on the outskirts of a mega city. I can walk into a minimum wage job like Walmart, get the job, and if it doesn't work out, I can walk out of a Walmart and have a minimum wage job somewhere else in an afternoon. So that's another problem, is that people put up with that shit until they gauge it by their own annoyance level, versus, dude, if you stick around for a while, it's like, it's a minimum wage job, but if you stick around, you'll start getting promotions and this and that and this and that, and could work your way up to a decently well-paying position. Now, some businesses are like that, and some businesses aren't. Right? There's some businesses that if you sign on for minimum wage, that's the best you're ever going to get. But it depends on what you want, what you need, what your financial goals are. And I know that's all relative. What color is that one again? Ooh, that's a really bright one. Let's use my really bright one. I bought this one. I got this fabric. I got this thread because it was matching some stuff that I want. It was matching some fabric that I wanted. So I got it, and I was like, oh, well, I'll probably go through a bunch of it. And then I realized that it's not necessarily the correct shade of red I always try to match it up. It's like, okay, this is going to match this beautifully. It's nearly exact, but there's different shades of a color. So whenever I buy a thread, I want it to match a range of shades, not just one particular shade. So I didn't realize until it was too late that this really only matched one. I bought this 7 years ago, is the punchline. I bought it 7 years ago when the shop was new, and then very quickly realized I bought like 4 of them, and then very quickly realized that it only fits certain color ranges. Everything else I try to think of it as a spectrum. Yeah, they can be surprisingly hard to match. What I found is that purple matches very well with gray, believe it or not. Even though there's a touch of, even though like there's 3 or 4 different tones of gray, But I never try. Okay, I never try to make anything match perfectly, but I try to get some kind of a match. But yeah, so I don't have a lot of reason to use this particular shade. Ow, that pin does not belong in my hand. I'm gonna go over then out then out. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be all schmancy. I'm gonna be weird. I'm just gonna go through the middle here and then around here. That'll satisfy that 10-inch rule. And then I'll have another layer all the way around when I put my thing on. Back up, back. In the real world, I would have to make sure that this was properly lined up, but I don't have to now. Yeah, it's going to get all the red stitches. Anyway, now, again, honestly, I think we've all got, by the time you get as old and decrepit as I am, you start getting some really interesting stories. You get some really interesting stories, and luckily the worst of them never happened directly to me. They just happened around me. But now I'm semi-retired and I just sew shit for fun, which is even better. Come on. Now I just have to sort out. I'm still trying to figure out. I don't know how hard I'm trying to figure out. I have a dilemma. I would love to open up shipping to the States, but I really need to slow down. So it's like, if I open up shipping to the States again, then I'm going to get busier. Or, Lisa and I keep going back and forth on this. Opening up shipping to the States is going to cost me about $20. It's like shipping to the States is going to be about $10 a package plus about 30% tariffs per item. So if I had an order worth $100, it's going to cost me about $14, $15 for shipping, and then an extra $30 for the fucking tariffs. Which is fine. Okay, it's not fine, but I'm honestly not impacted. It is absolutely awesome when you can work. Yeah, it's absolutely awesome when you can work for yourself and don't have a lot of this is a little bit of fun money. Go to McDonald's once in a while money. This is not trying too hard at life money. So I do not have to make this work, which, I mean, I know there's plenty of people up here in Canada. Well, I guess in the States as well. There's plenty of people that are stuck trying to find ways to work. Yeah, exactly. Right. I don't think you have it in you. Well, here's the thing. There's supposed to be some new tariff negotiations happening. I have no idea what the hell's going on with that. If I open up selling to the States, then what's going to happen is I'm going to open up selling to the States. But the days of me binging 100 bags a week, not happening. So if I end up that I'm just doing a drop, this is something I was saying to Lisa. If I end up that I'm just doing like 20 or 30 bags a month, which isn't a lot. It's not a lot. It sounds like it, but it's not a lot. So if I end up just doing if I end up just doing just enough to stay busy and whatever, if I'm making just enough bags to stay busy, and that means that I drop some bags into the shop and it sells out between drops, that's just going to have to be the way it is. So it's like, so it's not, I don't know. Like I said, but I really want to slow down. It's just time for me. It's time for me to slow down and not be sewing at that pace anymore. If I want to sew at that pace, I can make stuff for me. But no, I don't know. mean, I can still. Well, you can't even do that. Basically, the way that all this shit is working, a lot of people. You did channel your inner Peggy. A lot of people are sitting there. A lot of people are sitting there going, "I'm just going to mark everything as a gift and send it down to the state." I can send a gift worth up to $100, no tariffs. I think it's 100 or because there's business purchases and then there's gifts. And I've got because I run an Etsy group and there's a bunch of people. Well, if I just mark it as a gift, they can't stop me. And it's like, dude, this is all going through brokerage, which is all computerized now. And if you think they're not going to cross-reference and ask themselves, why are you sending 100 gifts a month to the States? They're going to, if you lose your privilege to ship cross-border because you're fucking around with the system, you're going to lose it forever, right? Anyway, so got a lot of people thinking that that's going to work. A lot of people coming in going, Etsy closed my shop and I don't know why. It's like, how many of your last 100 packages were listed as a gift going to the US? It's like, okay. That's just a US based company, right? It is not worth it. Anyway, but I'm still debating though, because I keep, every now and again, I hear from people going, oh, when are you going to start selling to the States again? I'd love to buy some of your stuff. And I'm like, well, with the tariff issues being what they are, unless I can find a workaround. Oh, I did find a workaround, by the way. The only workaround that I found so far is working with a very unreliable carrier who has they don't. I know this is really nice. I'm wondering if I should like save it for something else. No, it'll go good in the blankie. Maybe I should dig out a few more red. I don't have a lot of red going on in there. But yeah, I don't know. I'm bringing the agonizing to the interwebs because Lisa hears about it all the time. But if I could, apparently I can get myself exempted. But and here's the fucked up part. I can get myself exempted as a cottage industry, but first I have to prove it's a business, which means I have to get all sorts of documentation and stuff that I've never needed before. Which means I would be it would cause problems. Or then again, maybe it won't. I don't know. I don't know. I was thinking about doing a couple of test shipments. Like just do a couple of test shipments, and it's like, dude, if it shows up, here's what I'm gonna do. Here's how I'm gonna do it. Now, if it shows up if they show up telling you that you owe them money, just decline the package. But I don't know how I'd make that work. I think my biggest thing, don't yell at me. I think my biggest thing is just figuring out how much actual work I want to be doing. But there's also that part about, well, the shiny money is nice, but I don't think it is. Here's the problem: is that this one here, it's got its little thing, but it's off centered because I just centered it to what was already there. But I cut out where it said terror. I don't know why terror, but forgiveness, perseverance. I don't know what a couple of the unhappiness. There's unhappiness. That's awesome. I would have cut that off if I'd seen it. Oh, depression and unhappiness. If I'd have known that, I would have cut that off. It's not the end of the world. It's mostly positive. Yeah, that looks there. That's about the right color. It's pretty bright. I like it. I want to get a bunch of these done. Oh, I do have some more red. Let's get a couple more reds going. I think I have to slip over there. Do I have to iron this one? Yeah, I should iron this one. This one's a little bit of a mess. I should go iron it first. Ooh, that one's pretty full. Let me get this a little closer. I know it's Christmassy / winter. It's cardinals in the snow. That one will be nice. I don't think I'll do a huge one of that one, but it'll be nice. I already got that one. I already got this one. There we go. And then 1, 2. Yeah, I could do 3. This is a little bit more of a deep red than the camera's showing, but it's just hearts upside right. There we go. I think it's still kind of Christmassy, but I think it's meant to be Christmassy. I think it's meant to be a little Christmassy, but the piece, it's so small that you can't really tell. Yeah, I'm going to go iron these ones so I can do them. Maybe I'll get, like I said, I want to work through some of my stash because everything is tarot themed and I want some non-tarot themed. Come on. Okay, I'm going to have a sip of water while my iron heats up. Yeah, working in a bunch of reds will look really nice. And it's kind of a bit of luck too. Reds can really bleed a lot of color, but this stash came from somebody who pre-washes all of her fabrics. There we go. What the hell? Jesus. What's going on? There we go. Okay, you guys got to check this out. You guys got to check out my idiot dog. I can't say the DOG word out loud. Check this out. I don't know if you can see them both, but ignore the. Okay, so there's that one. There's Mr. Man over there. They have got 2 dog beds down. There's only 2 dog beds. 2 dog beds and a full-size blanket. There's the other dog bed just behind Bruno's butt there. A full-size blanket, a large dog bed, and a small dog bed, and they're both sleeping on the damn floor. God. They are like cats who just want to sit in the box. They are like kids. You guys gonna wait before doing the Enchanted Forest blanket? Wait, I'm confused. Enchanted Forest, which one? The foxes? The foxes one? Yeah, I just got lazy. Yeah, they're completely ignoring it. They're like, oh, we're just going to sleep on the floor over here. That'll be fine. Fucking idiots. Both of them. Okay. Now, this one will be really, really nice. Yeah, if you're referring to the fox one, it is over there waiting to go. I just have to I'm just trying to catch up on some little shit. But check out what just happened. Got it all wet. It's a steam iron. And when I was getting ready to do the thing, I must have clipped the little water spout that you fill it up from was completely open. So I have to have just nixed it. I must have chipped it with my thumb. I'm going to make these reds not necessarily huge. I'm gonna make them actually about the same. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. What do I got here? That might be too. If I go like that, that might be too small. But yeah. That is definitely coming up. I need to do 2 things. I need to decide on what pattern I'm going to do, and we both know that I'm super slow at doing that. I don't know how big of a piece I want yet. What do I got for? Okay, these are going to be the tiny pieces for filling in little holes, but they're not big enough to do a hole. Hey, fine, fall into there. See if I care. What do I got here? Oh, this is just another square one. Okay, let's do that. Let's assume that I'm going to cut this one. Oh, that's almost perfect. So we're just going to go. I don't need that little bit, but now I can save that one. So I got to decide. I've got to decide if I'm going to do a quilt as you go method, because that will determine how I'm prepping the back and the batting. So am I going to do a quilt as you go method, or am I going to make the whole thing and then do it together? And then I've definitely got enough I've got enough to make a really big quilt out of that. So then I have to decide how big I want the quilt to be, and whether I want it to be really big or moderately big. And I don't know how big that's going to be. I'm just going to cut this in half. So yeah, I'm always slow at the final decision. So I've just got to decide on that. And then I'm just going to go, there we go. I'm just going to go. So one's going to be a little over 4 by like 4 3/4. And the other one's going to be smaller. My phone is trying to ring. Be right back. Speaking of Walmart, yeah, so I just got to decide whether I'm going to do, am I going to put together things and do a quilt as you go system, which is fine. Am I going to do it all as one and then put it together, which is fine. Am I going to make it bigger or smaller? I may actually have enough for 2 smaller ones, which is also fine, but I just have to decide where I'm at. So not the end of the world one way or the other. I think I want to do, I don't know. I think that looks really, oh my God, it's almost an exact fit. I think that looks really cool. Yep, that's perfect. Done. Okay, I'm not determined to do every single patch has to be different, but I will swing around and swing back and do it that way so that I can, is this one going to be the right set? No, that one's not going to work. I'm going to, cycle through. So I want to be able to start with a bucket that's already if I keep all my colors and styles and whatever all separated, then I'm going to try to subconsciously or otherwise organize them as I'm putting them in. I want my bucket stuff to be as random as possible. So if I put this stuff together in somewhat random, then I will be keeping it nice and ooh, you know what I need to do? Well, I don't have to do it right now. Okay, those 2 are ready. And then no, it's already got that one. So yeah, I'll probably be swinging by for 3, 4, 5. I kind of want this one to stay small-ish too, because it is very Christmassy. Have I played any? Mostly I'm playing World of Warcraft right now. I'm kind of binging that. I just looked up some more stuff for Palworld. I'm probably going to get back up onto Palworld. Basically, I haven't played World of Warcraft in so long that it's an entire process just getting back up to speed. I'm just going to do this 4 inches wide. How long is it? Let's see how long this is. For starters, there we go. That was ever so tiny. 4 by 10. That's nice. That's a nice size. Basically, when you haven't played World of Warcraft for a while, it takes a bit just to feel like you're getting caught up. So I'm still working on that. Is that? No, I was going to go that way, which is fine. Again, this is all left over from other projects as well. So yeah, binging World of Warcraft because they've got a whole bunch of new content. Oh, let's do that first. I'm just overthinking because if I cut across here, then this piece is going to be shorter and that's going to be, I don't need that long or that narrow of a piece. That can go through with that. But yeah, binging World of Warcraft seems to be the thing to do. I'm still having fun with it. I've still got all my Power World stuff and I've still got the Dreamlight Valley stuff. Because I'm definitely not done with that game now that they have mounts. It's like, I want to collect all the pretty ponies. Oh, wait, I can still use that one. Stick it in the corner somewhere. And I have a piece that went to an angle. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, definitely going to get back. I'm definitely going to get back into all of it. I just have to get off my lazy ass and get back into all of it. What are you playing right now? Are you still on Dreamlight Valley? I'm assuming that you are. I've seen your thing. Okay, that one's there. That one's there. Perfect. Nope, that one can go there. That one's done. There, that one's done. Okay. I'm going to keep mine. Everything's supposed to clash on this quilt anyway. Actually, all of these colors seem like the red's not going to be too big of a deal. I just got to get that one. It was a little tiny bit off when it didn't need to be. I'm just going to do a quick little crisscross. Actually, I guess I don't need to go all the way across. I don't need to go all the way across. That one's fine. This one I'm going to go. I'm just eyeballing it because, you know. Nice. Yeah, I got the first horse. Mine looks like a zebra. I did all the things and basically turned it into a zebra. So that was fun. But then Lisa's like, well, you know, we haven't played WoW in a long time, and there's a whole shit ton of new stuff coming up for WoW, and so that it just got, well, it's the middle of winter, and what else are you doing, right? So it just got way too tempting. But and right now, oh yeah, my wife tried to break my hand. Did she tell you guys about that? Did she admit to that? Did my wife admit to her violence? Oh, it was so ridiculous. It was like we were goofing around, not in any way that matters. I just flicked a little water on her, no big deal. So she's like, I forget the actual order of events. So she grabbed a thing of water and she was going to step forward and throw it on me, or forget how that went. Anyway, so she steps forward just as I put my hand up. So we're basically stepping towards each other like this, and her hand caught my finger like that. It's like, for fuck's sake, why can't it be a cool story? Why does it have to be, oh yeah, we were stepping towards each other and didn't do it right? No, I never get the cool story. I get the whole, oh yeah. You know, I never get the whole, oh, there was this like, you know, there was this plane that crashed. I don't get none of that shit. I get, no, I can't step forward right. But yeah, it was like, so my hand was sore for a couple. That's why I didn't get anything done over the weekend. Because I do take time off from time to time. Yeah, it was just, it's fine. It just kind of felt, it felt bruisey for a couple of days. I babied it for a couple of days, not going to lie. Not going to lie that I babied it for a couple of days, because that's what you do. This is really cool. This one's really cool. There are some lines right here. I'm going to follow the lines and just get some cross hatching in. I'm not following every single line. I followed this one Come to the edge, bring it around this way. See, I'm missing like a whole bunch of them, but yeah, look at me get a nice little crosshatch. And then I'm just stitching in the ditch. You actually kind of can't see it. It's kind of weird. Yeah, so I basically, it's like, so I live streamed on Friday, so I finished up what I had going on Friday. Then I didn't do anything on Saturday, and then decided to try breaking my fucking hand on Sunday. Mind you, yesterday wouldn't have mattered. Yesterday would not have mattered at all. I basically took like a 3-hour nap in the middle of the afternoon after that insomnia episode. I'm still bitter about that. It's one thing to have a bit of insomnia, but it's another thing when you then wake up after like only 1 or 2 hours and you're wide awake. We're wondering that, what did I hear? Usually I don't wake up like that unless there's been like a really loud noise from outside or something. But no idea what woke me up that wide awake, but I certainly decided that going back to sleep wasn't going to make that wasn't going to happen. This kind of works out really well. I like how that turned out. There we go. It's always nice when you can. Yeah, well, it needs at least a little bit because of its length, right? So it needs at least like one in the middle. Then you get a little. I don't care to make a perfect pattern or design on the back. I can, but I don't need to. Like I've got the one that goes there, then I've got a couple here and a couple here, so it's fine. And honestly, if I need to add more, I can, because they're such small pieces. If it's like, oh, this looks like crap, I really need to add more, I can come back on these smaller pieces. It's really easy to just add more. Okay, I gotta trim this down. What time is it now? Oh, it's 4:37. Lisa and I actually had a really nice but she reminded me that she films kind of on a schedule, right? And she's got a bit of a different schedule happening right now. So I don't need to be, unless she's got something going on right after work. I don't need to be off in time for her to come home anymore. So, which I'm happy to, but now her schedule changed just her system, not her schedule. I guess you call it her system. Her system changed a little bit. So she's like, honey, I'm like almost never filming right after work anymore. So feel free to stay online as long as you want. I mean, if she's got something to do, if she's got filming to do, she'll tell me. Mind you, if I want to make dinner tonight, I don't know if I want to cook or not. I love cooking, but when you're just, I love cooking. I hate the cleanup. And when you're only cooking for 2 people, your options become very limited because there's certain things that you just can't really, it makes no sense to cook chili for 2. But if you have like, I can make a chili, then we can have chili for dinner. Then the leftovers can go for lunch and for Lisa for work the next day, which is fine. What's going on here? Why does that look like it's, oh, it's not. Never mind, it looked funny. Doesn't matter if it is funny. That's something I want to try, actually. I want to try some odd shapes and see if I can like make them fit together, kind of like English paper piecing type of stuff. Because once a piece is done, oh, that isn't straight, is it? That's not straight. That's why. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to fold the backing back and away from the section that I need to cut. It's all the way to the corner here, but this is the corner that needs the trim. It's not off by a lot, but the smaller your piece is, the more obvious these little bits can become. So if it's not possible to trim it, work your way, figure it out. But if it is possible to trim it, take a minute. It's kind of funny because if something's a little wonky, it is less visible on a bigger piece than a small piece, which is kind of counterintuitive because fabric is so expensive. Yeah, perfect, right. Except for the thing is that if I'm making chili for 2, it's a lot of work. But if you're making chili for 2 and the possibility of leftovers, that's a lot more. It feels like a lot more work than making chili for 4 with 4, 6 or 8. Like when the kids were still at home, I could make chili for 12. I could make a big batch of chili because kids love chili and they just keep eating it. They eat it forever. Get a bag of nachos. You make a big batch of chili, right? And then when you're on day 2, you have a big bag of nachos, and then you throw the chili over top with a shit ton of cheese, and there's no chili for 2 days, nachos for 1 day, right? But it just feels like a completely different workload when you're putting that much energy into 2 people versus when you get a large meal out of it, or like doing a roast, right? Like doing up a large roast for just Lisa and I, we don't go through it. We just don't get to it. So the kind of cooking that I do becomes kind of counterintuitive. Mind you, I'm still really good at doing stuff for small meals, like, grilled cheese and soup, stuff like that. I've gotten so lazy about it that most of the time we have instant potatoes. But if you get dehydrated instead of instant, dehydrated potatoes, it's a very short curve to get used to them, and then they start tasting just like any other kind of potato. It's a potato. Anyway, no, it's just that a lot of foods just do not translate into meals for 2, and then. But the simple, easy stuff, we'll have, yeah. Oh, we eat leftovers all the time. We eat leftovers all the time. But we don't like, and it's just an us thing. We eat leftovers all the time, but we don't like eating leftovers indefinitely, right? And a lot of the type of stuff that, raising 2 boys, you get really good at making large amounts of food. Tell her she doesn't want to eat leftover. Yeah. You know what, though? When I was working at the superstore, the local grocery store up here, the local big box grocery store, we had regular people that come in every month and just bought the big 100 packs of paper plates because they would, frozen pizza on a paper plate. They wouldn't cook. They wouldn't do dishes. But then again, the number of people I know that can't cook is kind of surprising. It's kind of shocking. Both of my kids could cook, but it seems like something people treat not being able to cook as something to be proud of because they see domestic skills as being somehow. There's a pretty one. That. If I made it a little bit bigger, yeah, that still goes. Look at it; it still goes off to the side a little bit. I don't know if you can tell. See, it goes a little bit. That'll be fine because when I'm making the quilt, I can just tuck it in a little bit. I don't care. This is supposed to be ugly. So if it's like, oh, that goes off to the side a little bit, which is why I'm giving myself permission to go really fast and not measure anything and not pin anything. But if I go like this and it ends up having a tiny pleat in it, I'm not going to care. Yeah, that's the state that we're at. Yeah, it's hard. Some of the stuff that I do this really cool thing, meatball soup, right? But it makes an entire crock pot full. We're just not going to. We eat leftovers all the time, but I don't like eating leftovers for an entire week. And it's like. So yeah, it's the thing. It's the I can cook, and I think I'm good at it, of course. So it always helps if you can. It's always helpful if you can enjoy your own cooking. So always, if you like your own cooking, even if nobody else does, brag about it anyway. I didn't want you to go back that far. Yeah, I'm a little bit better at my straight lines when I'm not distracting myself with too much talking, but I'd rather distract myself with too much talking, and it's supposed to be an ugly blanket. But anyway, no, I think I like my own cooking. I think I'm a good cook, but I think that it's just hard to want. It's hard to want. Now I want to go out for dinner. I'm like, we should go out for dinner. We were actually talking about that. I don't think we go. I don't know. It's already 4:45. Anyway, no, it's hard to get that. It's hard to get the incentive for it. The less you cook, the less when you're cooking for just yourself, or like, for us, like I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna make a nice meal. Then we're gonna wolf it down so we can get the dogs outside. Because Bruno being it. Yeah, okay, I'll blame Bruno, but like with the dogs, they're senior dogs, so their care gets more and more specific by the year. So she's going to get home. Then we're going to do the things. Oh, do you ever walk the dog? Yeah, let's go walk the dogs. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's do that. So we always have little things that need to be done. And it's like, so we don't really ever get a chance to sit down and savor a meal anyway. Oh, I think I just did it again. I think I see how and why I did it. Okay. When I rolled that corner in, I don't think I pushed it enough. And if I had just used my tweezers to hold it in place, I think it wouldn't have done it. No in a second. Because that one's easy. It's just the beginning. It's hard to describe. But where you are in the piece will kind of, let's be a little bit more careful about this corner and see if because I have a feeling I just did it up there. Yeah, I think I see exactly. Yep, it's out a little bit. Because when I'm coming into the corner, there's a crease there, and I think it's catching the crease and giving it a little bit of a push, which I avoid by using my tweezers when I'm working. When I'm going around the corner, I usually grab it with the tweezers so that it doesn't push out of alignment. Anyway, my problem is I think I need to start focusing on some recipes that are specific to smaller meals. But then again, you know what the fucked up part is though? Is that the cost of groceries? There are some stuff like I like making. I've made pad thai and whatever before. Like just a very quick little Canadianized version, nothing special. But to get all the ingredients that you need to make a 2-person meal is usually costs as much or more as like going out grabbing McDinner. It's like if I decide that I want to make burgers at home, I'm going to have to spend like what, $20, $30 for a box of, $20, $30 just for a multi-pack of the meat. Then I'm going to have to make sure if I don't already have it, I have to go buy whatever seasonings and spices I want in the meat. Then I'm going to have to go buy the potatoes, and I'm going to have to take the time to cook it all, sort it all out, condiments, lettuce, tomato. You don't buy 2 leaves of lettuce for your hamburgers. You have to go buy a whole head of lettuce. And then if you don't have something to get it all eaten up, yeah, too many dirty dishes. And sometimes it costs more to buy the ingredients than it does just to between the time and the mess and the cleanup. You're not necessarily, sometimes it's costing you more, and you're not necessarily saving any money to go and make it yourself versus having somebody else who's responsible for the cleanup make it for you. Like I always use Costco dogs. Yeah, groceries are getting really expensive. Okay, like there is this product called Kewpie Mayo, and we really like it. It tastes different. It tastes different from regular mayonnaise, right? I'll go get it short to you. It's not very huge. This is called Kewpie Mayo. It's a Japanese mayonnaise. It comes in a 456 milliliters, which is like 10 ounces. It's not a lot. This is $7 Canadian. It's Canadian. But like, so we use it like on sandwiches and stuff like that. Yeah, it's really cool. It's got a very different flavor than regular mayonnaise. I don't know, not very different. It's mayonnaise. It's mayonnaise. It just tastes better. I don't know how to describe it. Some foods are just like that, right? Like, Coke versus Pepsi, right? But the thing is like for $7 for a thing of that mayo, that means that we could actually do the math and figure out how much it costs per serving to put it on a fucking hamburger. Anyway, now I get a little whiny about it because I guess I do, but I don't. Like, I mean, I guess it's really nice. We live in an area where there's tons of food options. But like, if I want if I want something, if I want like noodles or something like that, I can go over to the mall and get some halfway decent pad thai. It's actually really easy to make, which is why I'm using it as an example. I can go over to the food court and get some pad thai, and it's cheaper to get it. It's cheaper to go over there because they've already got the sauces. The sauces are fresh because it's not something I eat a lot, right? So it's like, oh, I want to make pad thai. Okay, now I've got to go out and buy the noodles, and the noodles are usually enough for 4 to 6 servings. Then I have to go out and buy the vegetables, the peanuts, everything else that I want to put in it. That's going to be whatever. Then I have to go out and buy the sauces. Kewpie mayo, $7 for a small thing. So you get your pad thai sauce, your satay sauce, your whatever sauce that you like. You could be looking at $5 or $6 per jar per jar / container for whatever spices and seasonings that you want. Then you have to. So basically, in terms of groceries for 2 people, you're already spending more. You're spending more. Have to buy it in portions that are, because like I said, a thing of mayonnaise like that that'll do burgers for a month, right? So you have to go buy it in proportions that are more than what you need. So then you have to hope that then once you get that, depending on how often you do or don't have a thing, there's a really good chance that it's going to have gone. The last ketchup that we got, regular basic, every Canadian eats it ketchup. It went bad. Our ketchup went bad because we don't do a lot of that stuff. We don't use a lot of ketchup at home. It actually went bad. So if I decide I want hot dogs for dinner, I've got to go buy a 12-pack of hot dogs, a 12-pack of buns, a brand new bottle of ketchup, any pop I might want, onions, whatever else I might want, or I can just go to Costco for $1.50. And once I get a dozen hot dogs, and depending on what brand and quality you're getting, that can cost. So now I have a dozen hot dogs when I only wanted one. I have a case of pop when I only wanted one. I have all this shit that I didn't really want because I'm saving money, but I'm only saving money if I have hot dogs. Because you buy a pack, $5 or $6 for your pack of buns. $5 or $6 for a pack of buns, and if you do not find a way to eat up all those buns, you've just spent more on just the bun than you would be to get two hot dogs, 2 pops. There's dinner for 2. Yeah. Like when I was 20, I didn't care. When I was 20, it's like, yeah, I'll eat hot dogs for a month. I don't fucking care, but I'm not 20 anymore. Okay. I'm done. Ooh, where am I at right now? Check this one out. This is cute. I think I'm gonna go out of my way to make sure I use all raspberries. This is why I grabbed the stash, because this is not something I would buy. This isn't something I would buy for the shop, but it's like cute. It would be a cute little thing to throw into the ugly quilt. But yeah, I get on my high horse where cooking is concerned, because honestly, and this makes sense, right? People are just not cooking anymore. So companies, oh yeah, and we can go to our local grocery store and get a pizza for like $8. We can go, and so we just take it home and heat it up. Okay, I got a big one here. I threw this together and I got a big one, but I did 2 smaller ones using all of these colors already. I don't know if I want that much samesies happening yet, but actually what I want to do, this is what I want to do. I want to see what happens. I gotta get a smaller. Ooh, where's my really small rulers? Are they in here? There's one. If I take this and do that, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna save this one. I'm gonna save this piece because what I can do is if I need little tiny pieces, I can come in here and cut it at any angle I want. Because take a look. Check it out. I don't know if it's going to make any sense, but come in here, you come in here, come in here. You just get it at a wonky angle. Okay, fine. Do it this way then. See if I care. Okay, there you go. Get in here at a wonky angle, and now it looks completely different from... It does. It gives you a completely different sense than that one did. All the same colors. So I can come through here. I've got this one, and I've got another ruler that's a little bit bigger. I can just come through here and cut these at whatever angle. I can cut these at wonky angles and get the tiny. I don't know what we're going to do for dinner. I don't know. I keep instant potatoes. Yeah, I've got to do filler pieces anyway. Because the system that I decided to go with, it means I'm going to have some filler pieces. If I save this for filler pieces, because right now my filler pieces are just a single piece of whatever. So this would be nice to have some filler pieces that just have an interesting look to them, and I don't have to focus on making it too perfect. Yeah, I'm going to save this as a filler piece. Now I need a bucket of fillers. I mean, I could still turn it at an angle and make a bigger piece. I just don't think I need to. I think I definitely need to start saving some filler pieces. I had a few of these that were going really well. And starting to look really good. But then it's like, while I've got all this other stuff out, I can't really make a lot of filler pieces. But I'm going to get off here. I don't know what dinner's going to be. Maybe just McCrap. I haven't decided what I want yet. I mean, Lisa's going to be home in a couple of minutes, so we'll figure it out then. But no, I think I need some, because here's the thing. Okay, so I get this guy. Then I get this guy, and I'm this one actually fits. Okay. So then I get up here. Now I'm going to need a filler piece to go in there. So I get and look, that's exactly the right size, which is fine. But I don't have any filler pieces saved right now. I don't have any filler. I could do this one of two ways, because I can piece all this together. I can make a bunch. Look what I got. I got that one's full. This one's pretty much full. The one below it's pretty much full. I can probably make 5 or 6. You see, this is the. Do you remember me showing you this one? This is the one that was together, but it was misaligned. So I just like FAFO'd it. It'll be fine. That one's going in. That one, this one still has to be worked in. That one still has to be worked in, so that one's fine. I have very little that's actually a pattern yet, and I still want to do some of that stuff. I want to do some pattern stuff. So, but yeah, I could start doing some of this stuff and then just have a big stack where I only have to come back for my filler pieces. Come on. There we go. Linda. Anyway, I should get, well, I guess I can wait. Well, I guess I should check and see if she's even trying to get a hold of me, but no, this is going to be really cool when it's done. But I had some stuff that I wanted to do some designs and patterns or there's a few design. I guess I'm done for the day. There's a few designs and patterns I wanted to get some practice on. And I think that's next. I don't have to have a ton, but I want to get a few, I want to get a few patterns, half square triangles. They make lots of cool designs. I want to get a bunch of that stuff done soon. I said I was going to do the one tangled star design, and I just haven't got to that yet. So that's something. So yeah. Mind you, then again, it's doing it again. That's okay. I'm just going to turn off that fucker of a camera. Which one is it? It's funny because the insect. I forgot that it does that. Yeah. If I have the sound on for both cameras, it treats it as if there's two screens. Well, it is two screens. It's weird. It's hard to describe, but the way that it treats it is if there's if I have the sound on for both cameras, then there's massive whining feedback. But no, I was just starting to say that I want to try making some patterns and designs. Yeah, I don't need more work. I want to try making some patterns and designs. And the really cool thing about my ugly blanket is that I'm going to be able to practice at stuff that I haven't tried before, or that I'm not necessarily sure that I'm going to get right. I can practice at a whole bunch of stuff, and if it doesn't turn out, okay, because I can take a block. I can take a block that it's like, wow, this whole corner here looks weird. Fine, I'll cut that off, and the rest of it becomes a piece for the ugly quilt. But I got to work on I want to. So now I need to get to it sooner or later. But I do want to get some of this stuff. I do want to get some of these pieced out with or without the filler pieces. The filler pieces are going to be easy. They really are. Filler pieces are easy. You just figure out, get everything else gets sewn together, and then you figure out what you need to finish off those little gaps, and then you fill them up. It's like, that's actually not hard. So there's also, I have a plan. I have a thought that if there's some of my little squares that are particularly tiny, I have a thought that maybe just leaving them might be like a bit of a cool effect. Because I don't think it's going to end up being, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided how that's going to look yet. But there's also ways to do that where you just fold it in a certain way. And then, yeah, there's plenty of ways to figure that shit out. But anyway, I'm going to get going. Lisa's going to be home any minute now. And now I'm whining and don't know what I want for dinner. So we'll blame that on Jenny, though, because we always have to blame somebody. I never take responsibility for my shit. It's just the way my world works. So, sorry, Jenny, you're the whipping boy today. But anyway, I'm just being an ass. You guys know me. You guys know better. I hear my door. So I better go.
Hi, Internet. Bye.
She brought me soda pop. She brought me a big cold drink. She loves me.
I do.
Okay, I'm going to go chug some caffeine and then figure out what's going on for dinner. And thank you for hanging out with me. Yeah, Jenny's laughing. Okay, as long as Jenny's laughing, it's okay for me to be an asshole.
Oh, yeah, that's
We're
how
good.
that works. Yeah.
That's pretty much how it works. Ask my wife. Around the house, I'm a joy. I'm a special joy.
Mary Sunshine.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, you guys have a great night, guys. I got to make sure I'm doing this right. Yep. There. You guys have a great night. I will see you soon. Bye.